Good morning, everyone. This is Ovita Prespo from the product marketing team. I'm here with Paul Hasselt. He's the team lead from sales engineering, and he will be guiding us through this introduction to Sangoma TeamHub, which is the new collaboration app for community users. So, hey, Paul, how are you doing?
Hi, everyone. Pretty good, thanks. How about yourself? So, yeah, as Elvita said, thank you very much. We're going to be doing a demonstration today of the Sangoma TeamHub application for community in our phase one release. So, a couple of things I wanted to note. This is a phased approach on how we're going to be releasing the features for the TeamHub, and our goal is to bring in the HUD features essentially. So, another key factor is that this is going to be available for net new customers only right now. Any existing customers will continue to have their HUD environment just like it is today. We're not going to make any unexpected changes. And as the future phases are released, where more features and functions of HUD are introduced into TeamHub, we'll be bringing it over to existing customers as well. So keeping that in mind, I do have a small slide show that I'm going to go through, but we're going to be focusing a lot more on a live demo of the platform client. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is that we're going to be taking this approach as assuming that you folks are familiar with Community. Then I'm also going to assume that you're vaguely at least familiar with any of the HUD platforms, MyHUD, HUD Web, even HUD Classic included. But you might not be familiar very much with the TeamHub application. So I'll be taking that approach and going over a high-level overview of most of the items. We'll be doing a deeper dive into the talk section, which is the main call control feature that we've added. And without further ado, I'll turn off my camera and we'll get the slideshow started. So what is TeamHub? TeamHub is our all-in-one collaboration client, and it is going to be the unified experience for all customers is our goal. We want to make it simple, be intuitive, and a centralized place to find all of the features that you have available. So we have voice calling, chatting, of course, SMS and MMS, video meetings through our Sangoma Meet application, and a few cool AI features that we're starting to roll out. We'll be covering those here in a bit. And TeamHub is available in multiple forms. You can get it as a desktop application for Windows or Mac. It also has a mobile application for iOS and Android. And for those of you that may be thinking, wow, there's SMS. Yes, we are bringing now the SMS to the mobile devices as well. So that's one of the cool new things that'll become available for those customers. And you can use it virtually over any internet connection, right? With those that may be familiar with HUD and your location, you still can set up your cell phone on there. So even if you have a weak internet connection, as long as you can chat, click call, it'll send the calls to your cell phone and you guys can still do business regardless of where you're at. Right? And again, the goal was here to make it simple so there's not a huge learning curve for anybody that's either coming into it as a brand new customer or even existing customers when they switch over to the TeamHub environment. And it gives you that real-time collaboration in multiple forms, be it chat, voice, video, or screen sharing. So now the chat system is one of the big things about the TeamHub environment. We've definitely taken a focus on how you can communicate and collaborate with folks throughout your organization. And it doesn't matter where they're at. It's all one central communications platform. And we do have chat rooms or channels. You can make these public or private, and we'll go into this in detail in a bit, as well as direct messages where they're one-on-one, or you can set up a group chat with these individuals. And you can use file sharing, video conferencing with them, and it makes it really easy to get information shared amongst folks. Now here's the channel, and you can see some of the layout. Now we're going to be going into this again in the demo, but I did want to show some of the slides here because it just points out some key features and sections throughout here and how you can customize your communications experience essentially. Right? And here's the direct messages and what it looks like if you share a file. And we'll be going into the AI feature, which is that little 4 button here in a moment. So I mentioned AI. We do have a couple of AI features in here that are bots. And the first one is going to be the AI speed read feature. And what this basically does is where you can summarize or extract the key points of a thread. So a thread, what would that be? It would be a person asking a question, and then you reply to it, and then any of the conversation within that thread that's been replied to, you can do this for and summarize it or get the key points. So that's going to be included in there, and you can access it from that little 4-button option. And the other AI feature is going to be our Ask Sangoma Knowledge Bot. So we do have knowledge bases. You could always call us 24/7 for any kind of assistance, but instead of having to go to the knowledge base or find out what the URL is, you can simply ask Sangoma, and it'll present you with any of the answers that we've trained it on throughout all of our knowledge base content and provide you with the links here, making it easy to get answers. And we even put a little thumbs up or down there so you folks can give us feedback on how did it do. Did it give you a good answer or could it improve? Now, pricing, people like to know how much this is going to cost. It is going to cost $0 extra. Just like HUD is available with all of the user packages today, so will TeamHub be. So there's no additional cost for all the features that you have a part of your package. They'll be just the same as far as that goes. So without further ado, we'll get into the actual application now. Let's pull it up. And here it is. One more thing I did want to mention too, this slide deck that I've shown is very brief, but there's a more complete slide deck here in our partner portal. So if you aren't already familiar with it, you can go to partners.sangoma.com and sign in to get any of the partner content. As you can see here, we have a community brochure, product walkthrough, and even a comparison between the differences in HUD, My HUD, and TeamHub. So if you don't have an account, all you got to do is register. You get it approved in a reasonable amount of time, and you'll be able to browse all of the awesome content.
By the way, we will also be posting a recording of this webinar with the demo in that same place. I'll put the link in the chat section. Thanks.
Awesome. All right, so without further ado, here is the TeamHub application, and I'm going to show it to you within the web browser. But as you can see here, it is easy to grab the desktop versions for either Windows or Mac, as I mentioned, and this is where you'll see it when you log in. Any kind of updates, news, or major information we can post here to customers so they could see it. It's also going to be the launcher for the Sangoma apps. Currently, we have the 10DLC SMS registration right now. If you're not familiar with it, the carriers make it required by February 1st to register your SMS numbers and campaigns so that you could send and receive text and MMS to US customers. We've made it simple by going into the registration portal here, and you can register your campaigns so you could use those. In the future, we'll also be bringing in some of our additional applications here, such as Sangoma Send, curbside notifications, scheduler, and other great things I'll be bringing so you can easily access them. It'll be a way for customers and folks to discover them, and they'll be all available here in the future phases. So the next one, of course, is the chat. And here you'll see you have the full chat system. Similar to other chatting you may have used in the past, but we also include an insights page here. So this is useful for both managers and end users. It'll give you a bit of an overview of your usage and communications. Right? There's not too much on my demo system, but as this grows, you'll see having a lot more content and data. Now we have the threads here, and this will keep you up to date with any communications. If anybody's pinged me specifically, I can see it through all of my threads that I've been involved in. I can also filter out any of the unreads. So it makes it really easy for me just to click there and respond to the thread and not miss those communications. Now we do have channels, aka chat rooms, and here you'll see you can have as many of these as you like. These are public rooms. We can also make private rooms where you can invite certain individuals, and they'll only be the ones that have access to that channel. Of course, we do have the direct messages that you can see here with Buck and Elvita. We could just message folks. We could share files with them from our computer or any of the other sources you want to send them to. Easily initiate a video call or an audio call as well. Now, I mentioned you can do group communications, and here's an example of Alfredo and Buck and I. And here I can click on this video call, and this is what they'll see. A personal video link meeting where they could just click join and easily get in there. Oh, looks like we got a message here. Hi, Alvita. Oh, and if you make a mistake on the typing, you can always edit it. That easy. And you can make anything favorite from a channel or a group chat, making it easy to access those, and you're not having to jump around looking for them. So again, this is one of the major cool features of the TeamHub environment. HUD did have chatting, but this expands upon it quite a bit, as well as introducing those AI features that I mentioned, right? So if anybody asks a question, for example, here, I could respond in this thread, application. Now, normally conversations will be a little bit longer, of course, right? But once you have some content, you can easily select summarize thread or pull those key points. You can even do an interesting react for me. So I'll do that right here, and you'll see it kind of puts a automatic emoji based on what it thinks is an appropriate response, right? So I already asked one of the questions here to ask Sangoma, how can I set up Find Me? And you'll see it'll reply inline. So I'll click on the reply here, and there it is. It presented all of the information with links so I can easily get to that information all within the TeamHub chat environment, not having to jump into other places. So that's a pretty good high-level overview of the chat. We'll move over to the meeting now. I mentioned you could do the video conferencing, right? And this is part of the Sangoma Meet Video Suite. So it does screen sharing, audio conferencing, of course, and video. And you could join it as well through the web only. There is a desktop version and a mobile version for Android and iOS. So really easy to join in regardless of what device you're using. And you can also, you'll notice it says connect your calendar. So this is another one of the great things that we didn't have in the HUD environment, is a way to connect your Google or Office 365 contacts. Not only contacts, but also your calendar, right? So you can get all this information in one place. Now I haven't quite added the calendar source yet, but really easy to just add, and it'll make you go through the standard login, just like most applications do. And with that there, you'll be able to see all of your scheduled meetings. You can easily start a new meeting on the fly. I won't click that right now, but if you do, it'll basically launch the Sangoma Meet and get you ready to invite people. And you can also schedule meetings for a future time. Copy the information here and present it in an email, or however you'd like to copy and paste maybe to somebody, whatever works best for you. You can also see recent meetings that you would have joined and the length. So pretty straightforward. These calls in Sangoma Meet can be recorded and saved to your local machine. And you can also do cool things like see how much talk time folks have presented. You know, so when you're talking, you have 10 people in there, you'll be able to see any of the folks that actually spoke, how long. And it can also do a transcription of calls. So very cool tool and great way to access it right here. Now the next option is the SMS, and here you'll be able to see the SMS number that you have. Mine is currently not registered for the SMS campaign registry, and we'll put a reminder here so you know that you have to have this done before February 1st. But essentially it works the same as in the previous iterations with MyHUD. You have to have a direct dial number assigned to your user, and then folks can not only place calls to you, they can also send you text and MMS. Right? So it's really easy. Just click on UMS. You can pick from any of your contacts here, or you can just enter a phone number to text them. And of course, within there, you can attach files, whether it's a picture or a brief video message for the MMS portion. The file section here is now also something kind of new. In HUD, you had a temporary file store. So when you shared files, you could see them, but they'd kind of disappear around 90-ish days or so. It wasn't a forever store. So here in our hub drive, it is not going to disappear on you. So there's no expire time for files. And it's just an easy way to share files with your whole organization. You can even flag some of them as favorites, so you can easily access them from the favorites section if you need. Pretty straightforward. Now the contacts here, we have a couple of things I want to point out. Personal contacts is the equivalent of the external contacts. In HUD, every user had the ability to add their own external contacts. That's basically my speed dials. And those can now be added from here. So we moved it a bit instead of having it in the talk section, which I'll show you here in a moment. But if you want to add an external contact, all you got to do is click add personal contact here, fill out some of the information. You can even add a picture for them. And I'll show you in the talk later, it'll appear there as well. But it comes up here. You can click on it to get any of the information, delete or edit it, of course, and you can click to call if there's a number. If you have your Google or Office 365 contacts, those will also appear here now easily as well. So a couple of great things. I'm really excited about having the contact sync because it's quite a popular feature that folks have been asking for. And that's everything besides the talk. So we'll be switching now to the talk section. And this is the main thing that has been introduced for the CommUnity TeamHub version. Again, please do keep in mind this is phase 1. So there will be some features that you may be familiar with from HUD that have not yet been introduced. And they will be coming in future phases. So you can still, though, see it's very similar as far as the layout's concerned. In fact, let me see if I can maximize that there for folks. So you still have the call control via the soft phone interface. You can select what device that you'd like to use, just like you could before. It's the soft phone. You could, if you put your cell phone number in there, you could set your location as your mobile number. And that's the great thing, right? Let's say you don't have a great connection. Maybe you're on your 4G connection, even LTE, right? And you can still use HUD with your mobile device, not using data, but rather the PSTN, right? Your airtime. And if you have any physical desktop devices, those will appear here. And as you may be familiar with, a user can have multiple desktop devices. So you could want to have one at the office, one at the home office. And in my case, it's showing that it's not connected. So you can also tell the status of registration of your devices from here. If you're a MyHUD desktop user, you'll also see that we also brought the outbound caller ID selection on the fly. So if the admin gives you permission to select multiple caller IDs, you'll be able to do so easily from here. Right? If you don't want to give them access to multiple numbers, of course, only one number will appear there. So it shows you your extension. And if you're not familiar with the CommUnity multi-site functionality, you can have multiple sites, right? And they can have a site prefix. So this is especially useful for multi-site locations such as restaurants, retail establishments. The prefix could be something like the store or site number, right? And then you can have, let's say, the front desk would be extension 100. So every site can have extension 100 as a front desk, and you can reach them by dialing the site prefix first and 100. So definitely optional. If you don't have that need, the site prefix wouldn't appear here, and it'd just be your standard extension layout like you may be familiar with today. So we'll set up a quick call here. Put the number in, click call. There it goes.
Thank you for calling Sangoma.
So we'll turn down the volume there so we don't have to hear all that. And you'll notice now we have our call controls like we're used to. We could place the call on hold, resume it. We could do a transfer by clicking here. We could do a cold or blind transfer, warm or attended transfer, or we could transfer directly to somebody's voicemail. Now, some of you may be wondering, can we click and drag transfers? Not yet in the phase 1 release, but it is going to be coming in future phases, so don't worry. And this is also another reason why we took the approach of releasing this for net new customers only right now. That way, people that have been familiar and loving HUD don't have to lose anything that they have grown accustomed to. So, but rest assured, it's coming in the future. We could also convert this call to a conference. So if I want to have 3 or more people on a call, I'd click convert to conference, and then I can invite as many people as I'd like. And I'll show you how that kind of works here in the conference section in a bit. We could also initiate call recording easily. Click to start, click to stop. And the 3-button menu has the switch device, or what you may be familiar with as move call, which will let you move it between any of your physical devices, your cell phone, whatnot. And you can park the call. For those of you, again, that may not be familiar with this function, Park has multiple parking lots in CommUnity. We have global, we have a site-based, and we have a department-based. So what you may be familiar with today in our legacy products, when you park a call, it's parked globally. But here you can park it just so people at a specific site, like Culver City, for example, would see it, or people at a specific department, regardless of where they're physically located at, would see it. So really easy, we'll just park it here. You'll see the one comes up there, and there it is. Now you can dial *710 to retrieve the call from any phone, or you can click answer from here. Another cool thing about CommUnity is we have the ability to set up DSS keys, or the programmable buttons around the display, to be parking lot buttons if you need. So if I have assigned this to somebody, their light would be flashing right now. Right? That call ended right now. It's to our IVR. But you can do a direct call park from the physical phones and direct call park pickup by pressing those buttons. So multiple ways that you can handle call parking and fielding of calls. So for example, if you're a receptionist, you can have this interface here parking calls, and people that don't even have HUD or TeamHub available can still grab it. So now we'll start off here with the contacts. You have your favorites, of course, that'll come up here. So those would be any of the most frequently interacted with individuals you have. And the internals is the full company directory. Of course, throughout here, you could just click on the little star icon to make anybody a favorite. You can click to call anybody here by clicking on their extension, and you can always access certain things from the triple button menu here, which can be a favorite, view communications history, contact details, and as well, if you click call options, it gives you call, voicemail, or starting a conference with these individuals. External contacts, this is those contacts section that I mentioned where you add the personal contacts. This is where it appears. And you can easily click the column from here so you're not jumping back and forth between the contacts section. We've also introduced ring groups now into the contacts here, so you can easily click to call any of these ring groups that are available in the system. And here is the Google contacts. If I had my Office 365 contacts, those can also appear here. But as you can see, everything appears in this contact section within the talk interface for ease of access. Now the call log, pretty straightforward. It shows any of the communications that you've placed or received, whether it's an extension to extension call, inbound, outbound call, or call to the conference room. It all shows up here, and you have access to click to call any of these numbers or extensions. You can additionally search for certain things, right? If you're looking for a person that may have called or caller ID, you can also filter out by missed calls, incoming calls, and outgoing calls. Now voicemails, you still have the visual voicemail player within the interface. Now one of the things that is not yet available is the voicemail transcription within this interface. You can still get your transcriptions through our voicemail to email, so you're not going to be losing them, but you won't be able to click here and view them within the app just yet here in phase 1. It is going to be coming in the future phases, so look forward to having that within the TeamHub environment. And here you can see if they've been listened to or not, right? The blue one is unread and the other one is read. And you can filter by these as well. Now the recordings, very similar to the voicemails, right? You can see all of your recordings that I clicked to record on the fly. Great thing of the CommUnity platform is these things appear pretty much instantly. There's no processing, delay, or transferring of files anywhere. It's all in the cloud. And you can filter as well by unread or read recordings. As far as the recordings, you can download them locally and delete them from here, as well as easily call back any of these contacts. Now the conferencing section, a couple of cool things about it. If you're familiar with our legacy versions of the Finality world, there used to be general conference bridges. And you always had to wonder, is somebody using the bridge right now? Or, I need the bridge at 12. Let me check the calendar and all that stuff. In CommUnity, everybody has their own personal conference bridge. So gone are the days of wondering, is my bridge going to be available when I need it? In fact, we added additional settings here so you can manage how your conference calls are actually functioning. So let's pull up the talk settings here. We'll kind of take a pause here and jump into this. So you have, this is the settings options that you would have seen in the HUD environment. We've placed them here under talk settings now with a few extra ones. So like the parking lots, you can edit this to see which ones you want to display. Maybe all you use is global and you don't need the site and department one, for example. Well, totally customizable. For the My Phone info, essentially, you can set up your contact information. Well, you can see it rather. You can't change it from here, but you can change your mobile number and input it if you haven't done so already or the admin hadn't put it in for you. Audio settings, pretty straightforward. Any of the audio devices that you're going to be using for the soft phone, you'd select here. Now, call routing is a cool place where you'd set up your Find Me, Follow Me. So we've put it into two little sections here. One is the actual Find Me steps, and all of the familiar options are still available from the drop-down menu. So I could call myself, call another person, forward it to an external number. Maybe I want it to go immediately to my voicemail, or maybe I'm out and I want it to go to another user's voicemail, right? I could also ring multiple of my devices, and if I have to call different people, whether that's their extension or phone numbers like their cell phone, I could do that as well. So real easy. We could even do the press to accept for the mobile calls, right? So you get a notification, you have an incoming call, press 1 to accept. Right? Love that because it goes to my personal cell phone, and I know 1, it's a business call, and 2, it prevents it from being answered by my personal voicemail. So really cool. And the next part is basically how do you want to set up your Find Me behavior when you're on a call, or when do you want to do it during certain times, right? So maybe you don't want to get that call at 2 in the morning, right? So you'll set up your schedule Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, for example. Or maybe you only want certain users, right? Maybe it's the person on call, a supervisor, or maybe an important customer. You could set up those caller IDs, extensions, and internal users to be the ones that could find you. The voicemail, this basically lets you turn it on or off, set up your voicemail pin if you forgot, and set up your voicemail to email notifications. Now you can check the voicemail just like a traditional voicemail system from your phone, right? You can record your greetings and all that as well, check your voicemail messages. But if you have them recorded as WAV files and you want to upload your greetings, you can do so directly from here. Alerts, basically basic stuff. How do you get alert notifications if you miss calls? And then last but not least, we're segued into the settings here from the conference bridge discussion. This is it. This is where you can set up the name of the conference room, modify your moderator pin, and this is where you can say, I want to be able to let folks join before I get in there, or I want to let them stay after I've left the conference bridge. Right? So totally customizable by you as the end user, and admins can also set this up on behalf of users as well. So you don't have to worry about this. For example, say you don't have access to TeamHub, you're not a GUI user, admins can have these pre-configured on the back end. So, and also another thing is we can have a dial-in number. So with every individual having their own personal conference bridge, people can dial into a single number and get to the conferencing center. So all you got to take is a spare number that you have. We can make that the conferencing center number for you. And then they could enter a room number after calling and the participant PIN. We can also set up numbers that route directly to your conference bridge if you need as well. So let's start a quick conference call here. That's what it looks like. Now I can start inviting people. So I can say invite others, and I could invite internal users, right? I could go to Buck, right? I could invite Elvita. I could also do external people if I need to, right? We'll do that one here. And let's say you don't have a contact for the person that you want to invite. No problem. Put in the phone number, click plus. So you can add as many folks as you want to do this, and when you're ready, click add to conference. Now I'm going to remove a few of these folks so I don't bother them. Now say add to conference. And as soon as they answer that call, they'll be placed into the conference bridge. Bam. So very easy to get folks put into the bridge, and the same features that you may be familiar with. You can mute or kick individuals, as well as mute all except for yourself, making it like a presenter mode. Right? We'll go ahead and kick that external number there as well. And then I can easily exit the conference call. And depending on my settings, it would have kicked everybody out if I said don't leave them in. or it kept it going if I said it's okay if they stay. And we already kind of showed the parking lot. So one more thing I'll show you is how the site-based parking works. Go here to park the call real quick. We'll park it on the site level. And it even shows you an indicator of which site or department parking lot is the one using it. And you notice the star code is also different for site or department parking slots. So if I want to grab it here, we'll just simply say grab, and voila. Of course, we could end the call here as well. So that's pretty much the high level overview of the TeamHub introduction for community. Now we'll open it up for some question and answers here if anybody has any questions.
We don't really have any questions from attendees right now, but I just wanted to remind everyone that in that link from the partner portal, you will be able to find a thorough slide deck detailing all the differences between TeamHub and MyHUD and HUD. Paul, any closing remarks?
For me, I mean, I'm excited to have this over here, and I'm excited to bring it to folks. We're also looking for any kind of feedback, but do rest assured that in the future phases, we'll be bringing more of these great HUD features into the TeamHub environment until it has feature parity with the old HUD software. I appreciate everybody's time today. If you have any questions or want to find out how to get this for new customers or even for potentially existing customers, you can reach out to your sales rep if you have one already. If you don't have anybody that you've been communicating with, you can reach out to our customer success team and they'll get you hooked up with somebody that can help out. And once again, we appreciate everybody's time today. And if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to let us know. We're always happy to help.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you
Bye.
all. Take care.